I am your friend, Dr. Charles Apoki. I want to thank Venus Stitches for making this dress for me. I also want to thank GC Fancy along Tenant Road, the shopping plaza, one of the shopping plazas, Tenant Road. He imports these materials and he gave this to me as a gift. We will be able to advertise your products on this channel if you get in contact with us. I have a seminar coming up on the 5th and on the 6th of July. By 6 p.m. is an online seminar, webinar. The last one we did for June, we had 333 participants from 33 countries around the world and 26 states in Nigeria. After the program, we usually send the videos to the participants. First day is the lecture. Second day is the question and answer time. And you can ask any questions that have been bothering your mind. You can send a message to +234 80 21 21 92 62. God bless you. I heard the story of a 40-something-year-old man who collapsed in his work site. His blood pressure had risen and he died. And I was discussing with somebody, a young man, he's in his 40s too, and he was telling me the pressures that young people go through, and that one of the greatest challenges that young people will have is financial pressure from their immediate families, husband, the wife and the children. And we were discussing. Then my mind went back to 1985, around October. I was 26 years old. I was working at the Oribis Hospital owned by Dr. Obasi. Then at Immaculate Avenue now, can't remember, off Omungasi. And he's later moved to Umuehilegbo area. Good man from Asaga, good man. I was feeling dizzy in the office while I was working as an NYSC doctor. I said, let me check my blood pressure. I checked my blood pressure. At 26, it was 150/100 or 150/90. Why? I was preparing for marriage all alone because I married in December that year. I was 26. And then I reflected that if my blood pressure could rise at 26 because of the stress of preparing to get married, young men of today could also have high blood pressure. They could also have other symptoms of stress, symptoms of depression, anxiety, neurosis, and all that. Sleeplessness, headaches, palpitation, your heart is beating fast, and inside you is hot. And some of these young men today, they are married to women, young girls too, who have long fingernails. They don't want to walk. They want to carry long attachment on their heads. They are not ready to walk. They want to paint their faces with 35,000 naira to go to church, as if your face was painted like that when the man met you. I know somebody was painting her face every morning on Sunday to go to church until her husband died. and she came back to her natural face and her natural skin color. This video is for men between 25 and 50. That period of 25 years is very, very critical if you are to enjoy old age. I did a video that Tunde had not just shared. If you make me a federal minister today in the Republic of Nigeria, I will not accept. I have enough that I'm doing, and I'm satisfied with the life I am living. I don't want to be messed up. Number one, at 25, ideally you should have stopped schooling. You should have had a first degree, if not for our rubbish educational system now. At 25 to 30, you should have perfected your skills. So education, skills. Around 30, 35, you should have started setting up a business. Setting up a business, no matter how small. Start setting up a business. I had education, I had skills, and I started work at 26, running a 40-bed hospital. I intentionally set out to get skills. Young men, be intentional in this generation. Be intentional. I see young people I'm younger than at the age of 50 that are confused. Please, I'm a pastor. Please, I love God. Don't let somebody use scriptures to confuse your brain. The reality on ground is now different. Just like in the time of Elisha. Elisha killed his oxen, slaughtered them, I think 6 yokes, slaughtered them, and went into full-time ministry. But when the prophet in 2 Kings chapter 4, 1-7, in the Amplified Bible, if you read it, died of poverty and left the wife in frustration with the children going to slavery, Elisha said, "What have you of sale value in the house? What do you have to sell, madam?" That is the secret to your living this difficult situation. And Elisha stood by, the oil multiplied. Then Elisha told her about what we are going to teach in the seminar. Sell the oil, make profit, and live on the rest. How do you live on profit? So, set up a business. Let me share a secret with you. The time what you are imitating has gone. You knot tie, you wear coat, you are walking like a peacock. That time has gone. It even left in my time. The medical doctors that graduated before me, in those days, as you are graduating, the insurance companies are coming. They will teach you how to drive, give you a Volkswagen Beetle, maybe 2,000 something, 3,000 something. Mercedes-Benz was 8,500 naira. 8,500 naira, not 85,000 naira. 8,500 naira. Volvo was 7,500. I could buy a Peugeot 504 second hand immediately after youth service, and I was earning 200 naira a month. But I did some other things. So, in this dispensation, that time is gone. We had Dunlop, we had Michelin, we had Leyland, we had Schlumberger, we had all kinds of companies in Nigeria functioning. Ajaokuta Steel Mill, Itakpe Delta Steel Company, Oshogbo Steel Rolling Mill, Kaduna Steel Rolling Mill. They employed people, sent them to India, sent them to Germany for training. But when those things folded up, a lot of them died of poverty and frustration. So start acquiring skills outside your formal education. What you need to do today, is look for what illiterates are doing and do them better. Look for what illiterates, uneducated people are doing and do them better. Auto mechanic, mechatronics, food preparation, food distribution, food sales, farming, fashion and designing, that's tailoring, anything that people who were not very educated before were doing, do that. And have a steady income. It is the steady income that prevents you from becoming frustrated. Steady income. Bend down. Abba people say if you bend down, you go see Abba. Bend down. Forget all those luxuries you enjoyed in school. Bend down and see what you can do to produce regular income. Avoid this hope capital. Every month of the end, I see people who have not lived their lives well. I decree unto you, hope doors will open for you. I decree unto you, the month of March is marching forward. Stop deluding yourselves. Stop deluding yourselves. I say stop deluding yourselves. And don't send to me. When I talked about people just acting as prophets and quoting scriptures and praying anyhow, church people get angry. There are passages, any scripture that has not produced result in your life has no meaning in your life. You are just a noise maker and an echo. When I read, what have you of sale value, 2 Kings chapter 4, from verse 1 to 7 in the Amplified Bible, I started selling bekere, fried plantain, sold zobo in my school, sold exercise books, I sell, and the more products I had for sale, the more money that came. There was a month I sold plantain suckers of, I think, 1.25 million. Plantain suckers and banana suckers. So, what have you? Forget this. The yesterday is gone. The era of nothing time staying in air conditioning in other people's offices is gone unless you're in IT. And the rate at which these agitations for salary increases, starting projects that they don't have the money for, and sponsoring religious activities, and want to buy new presidential jet, they will grind this economy. It will look like Argentina or Zimbabwe. I'm talking to Nigerians now. Sit down. Step down from your high tower. Look for something. The man that made this dress is a graduate. The one that imported is a graduate. Is married to a graduate. So step down. If you see him in the market, in Aba, he's carrying his bales with the truck. He's walking with them with singlet and t-shirt. And boxers, trunk. Sit down. That era has gone. Face reality. Number 2, reduce your appetite. Appetite for the following F's: females, food, fashion, fantasy, flashy cars, and fermented drink. 6F. If you don't reduce them, you can't get the 7th F, finances, and the 8th F, your future. I had to step down from the high pedestal of medical doctor, stoop down in Ugili, reduced my expenditure, reduced my accommodation, I reduced everything down so that I could save, to reinvest, to expand. 40, you should be establishing what you will retire into. 40. I opened this school at 40, and it has built another one. I bought a lot of land at 40, even earlier than 40. Much earlier than 40. In my 30s. Those were the things I sold at a point to restart my life. And I'm still selling because I keep buying. So invest in real estate when you are young. Bust these flashy cars. Bust them. Immediately you buy them, they reduce in value 25%. Immediately you number them. And you keep spending money. Buy a functional car. My wife needed a car. I didn't go and buy an expensive one. I bought a functional one. Here, it's not taking much out of us. So, reduce, reorganize your life. Establish something at 40. Latest 50. My young friend just told me he bought a concrete, he started renting out his concrete mixer. Anytime they rent it, about 30,000 comes in. He is a professional. He's from a wealthy home, very wealthy home. He's a big boy, but he just bought a concrete mixer. You can just establish a car wash somewhere that will wash cars every day. You can establish a cassava grinding machine and press somewhere in one community that will be bringing money. You can establish a mill that grinds cassava, grinds pepper, grinds whatever, will give you money regularly. Forget this degree. Me, I go school. I go University of Ibadan. I went to Abraka. I went to government college. I went to FGC. I know book. But grammar without money is irritating. Anointing without money will lead to annoyance, according to Archbishop Benson in the House of Blessed Memory. So bend down and walk. Pastor! The members are getting different. They won't pay tithe and offerings like before. Look for something to do. I did a seminar from one of my books titled The Pastor, His Family, and His Finances. And one of our pastors from the Church of God Mission picked something. He went to plant yams, planted cassava. And he sent me a message that it is the yams that he has been selling to train his children. And they have been feeding well. And that one day he was peeling cassava. And he said that, told his wife, if not for this cassava, how would we have been buying gari now? 3,000 naira for 2.5 kilograms with the children. I did a post that today your wealth is not necessarily proportional to your sweat. That is also a truth. Truths are parallel. It's only stupid people that can't compartmentalize them and utilize them. One person came and said that, but you peel cassava. Yes, I peel cassava. It is the money from the gari I sell that I use to pay my bricklayers building my house there. Block molders, it is from the gari I sell. So I don't touch that one. I've labeled it for labor cost there. Then I do other businesses, real estate. I do intellectual businesses. If you go into this house now, there are books loaded there. In fact, they are bringing one book now. Overcoming tough times. And I'm going to use it to speak to thousands of men at the Balm of Gilead. The 2,000 copies will nearly finish after speaking for 1 hour. And that will give me close to 3 million naira. That's intellectual wealth. But if I keep taking from the intellectual wealth, I will not go forward. So I do the one for body filler. Use those ones to fill small spaces. My wife wants money, I'm able to give to her. So when you do that, at 50, you should have consolidated a firm financial background where you can advance forward. The ones you set up at 40 should enable you train your children. I was telling somebody, I sold that land, sold that one, sold that one, sold that one, sold that, sold that, sold that. I bought them in my 30s. No, sorry, I bought them in my 40s. And so I sold them to train children. There's one I bought when I was 50-something. I bought it 2.1 million. Today is 48 million. So I have them there. And so you must think, act, and invest intentionally. Listen, even at this age, I still spend money on family. Not to talk of your generation, 25 to 50 is totally different. But for every generation, there are opportunities. It is those who have insight that see the opportunities, and that prevents insult in old age. Remember, I have a seminar coming up on the 5th and on the 6th of July. Masterclass. We'll say hard things. And you'll register by sending a message to +234 80 21 21 92 62. You can also send a message to me on +234 521 +234 70 5213 6763. I will send you the flyer. You will register. It's 10,000 naira. It's not free. I remain your friend, Dr. Charles Apoki.